I'm Catherine, and today I'm going to be helping parents out there keep their kids entertained on long car journeys or if they're flying on international flights. Keeping kids happy for hours on end in a small confined space can really lead to a lot of tears from them and you. So here are some ideas on how to keep them happy. Firstly, when you're going on a trip, what I always suggest is to create one bag for each of your children that is their dedicated bag with their little bits and pieces in it. Maybe take a soft comfort toy or a blanket if that's what they need. Obviously if they're babies, always take their dummy or their bottle that they need. Here is the bag. Take a bag that is theirs. This one is a backpack type one, and it's also got wheels. So if you're traveling through an airport, they can pull it along behind them, which is really helpful. Then you don't have to worry about it. Number one is always some books. When you're packing books, make sure you choose thin books so that they don't take up too much space. If you've got a thin book with multiple stories in, that's even better. Try and find something, if you've got an older child, that they might actually start getting into and reading themselves. So I've got a son of 7 and he's recently discovered Roald Dahl, who's obviously really fun. So I've packed in 1 or 2 of his quite thin novels like this. This will keep him busy for quite a long time. It's got some fun pictures, so that's a great option. Then I always seem to pack some activity books or even a blank journal. So this is a blank journal where he can write some things in, make some notes. Recently we went on a trip to Kruger and I took them a journal with blank pages like this one where they could write and draw. So this is the picture of the giraffe that we drew after seeing one. If you're looking for a few other ideas, there's also these things called Smart Kids. Obviously it's a bit more school-based, but maybe if you're taking them out of school for a few days, you might like to just add this into the bag so that they can keep on top of some of their schoolwork. And then things like paper dolls. So this book comes with a few cut-out paper dolls in the back. And then you can kind of select the outfits. That could be quite nice. And colouring in books are always useful. So just a normal cheap colouring in book with some stickers maybe. And obviously then you'll need to take their pens and papers and crayons and cookie pens. Then like I said, when we went to the Kruger, I took a book with us that was going to be adding on to the experience of the trip, so they could start learning a bit more about the wildlife they were going to see. This is quite a lovely series. It's by Sassel. This is the Book of South African Wildlife. And this one comes with all the animals, large and small animals. What's really nice about it, it does also have things like the footprint, what they eat, where they live, lots of added extra information. And this book comes in 4 languages, English, Afrikaans, Xhosa and Zulu. So it's a really lovely book to get for any South African. Then another way to keep kids entertained is to play games in the car. You can buy like a pre-packed set like this. So we've got this one called Beat the Parents, and basically the parents ask questions to the kids and vice versa. And obviously for the parents you'll ask what is Elmo's favorite food, and for the kids you'll ask who was the first to walk on the moon. So it's going to make them learn things at the same time. This is another really fab little card game. Basically it's a whole lot of games you can play in the car. It's called 20 Things That Are Fun to Do on the Way, and so it gives you sort of ideas for those card games that we used to play as kids, but it puts them all in one, and that's a really nice little thing. It comes from a company called The Purple Cup, so look out for that. Then I've created this little box of games. It's like in a little portable box like this. So all our card games like Uno, a set of Top Trumps, a set of Monopoly Deal, those are all the games that our kids love at the moment. And then also in this box, you can see I've created a little tiny dice and some pieces like this, as well as a fold-up board of snakes and ladders. So you can look out for a magnetic game. It might be easier in a car, but something like that where you just keep all your bits and pieces in one place, and then you can just pop that in your bag before you head out the door, and you've got some ways to keep them happy. Then for my son, who's 7 or turning 8, we've got a few other activities. Things like his loom, for making his loom bracelets. You could take that. Just be careful with the tiny little pieces. Make sure they've got them all secure in a little clip box like this. That's a huge trend at the moment, so that'll keep them busy for hours. And then something I'm starting to introduce him to is Sudoku, because that's obviously really helpful for his muscle memory of numbers and things like that. And it's actually been quite fun for us to do together. So when we're sitting on a long transfer the other day, we could both do it together, and it kind of got me thinking in that direction too, which was not a bad thing. Then in terms of some music, obviously if you've got an iPod, you can kind of download some nice kids music and give them a set of their own headphones, so the rest of the plane doesn't have to be subjected to their music. If you're in a car, you can obviously plug in, put in a CD or something like that. We love this Beautiful Creatures range. It's a really nice range of CDs about animals, and we all actually quite enjoy listening to them. And then audiobooks are a really lovely way to keep kids entertained. We love Paddington. It's something that we can all listen to. We've got the book that goes along with the CD, so you can pack that with you. Otherwise, you can just pack the CD, and it's not a problem. Then as a last resort, I tend to then turn to technology. I know that sometimes it's our first resort, but we have an iPad, which we do have kids' games downloaded on. We have something called a LeapPad, which has also been quite nice for sort of slightly younger years. And you buy those games on little cartridges, and it teaches them educational things as well, such as learning to form the right letters and things like that. And then we've also invested in a little portable DVD player. You can get them to sit onto the back of your headrests in your car, or you can just get it like this, and we take a few DVDs with us as we go. They are a bit expensive, but I can't tell you how often we've used this on long car journeys, so it's really been well worth the money that we spent on it. So there are some ideas on how to keep your kids happy while you're traveling. What might be a good idea is just to keep a pre-packed bag with all of these types of things in it, so that the next time you get invited on a last-minute road trip, you're ready to go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I've inspired you for your next trip. If you've got any suggestions that I haven't included here, please leave a comment below. See you next time.